Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, I have another video for you guys. So, today I am going to be talking about this Oval Office that Tyler Perry done created. Like, baby. Whew. Like, I just got into it probably I say maybe like a few weeks ago. So, I finished the whole season one of the series or whatever. Oh my gosh, it is fucking crazy. Like, it was a bunch of drama from day one. Like the very first episode, okay, um, they gets to the Oval Office, so they moving in the new president and the first lady and the kids or whatever. So it's already some shit popping off. So let me see, because I can't remember all the people names or there or whatever. But you got the head butler or whatever. His name is Richard, I think, and his son was over there to help them move, whatever, because he was saying that his back was bad or whatever. So Richard and his son is over there helping. Then you have like the lead mate or whatever who's married to Sam, who is the head security or something like that. He the head security. And then you got the head of the Secret Service and then his wife. What the fuck is her name? She a designer or something. Like she designed clothes. She had designed the dress for the first lady or whatever for the inauguration, and she was supposed to be on her way into the inauguration, and there was this guy that was standing by her. So you know me, I'm already by me being an Aquarian and by me being intuitive. Like it's nothing when I watch these shows that can get past me. Like I already be knowing like what the fuck is about to go down before I go down because that's how predictable TV shows be, right? So the guy that was standing behind her, I was like, oh, she must have messed with him. Or at first I thought that they was there together in line. When she was talking to her husband was like, so when did you want to get here? You know that I need you to be here. You know that I need you here or whatever. And she was like, well, the plane is taking off and we had to make a stop somewhere or whatever. So I thought that she was with that guy in the back, but come to find out, she haven't even met him yet, and they had just met each other. They was just about to meet each other on the airplane when they got on the airplane because they was sitting next to each other, right? So her husband was pissed off that she didn't come or whatever, but it's whatever. But them two, they've been having like problems in their marriage and shit. Like they ain't been sleeping together or none of that shit. So when she had linked up with the dude on the airplane, she ended up, smashing the dude in the fucking bathroom in the airplane, right? So that shit was wild. So them two had messed around with each other or whatever. And I'm like, yo, and then the dude ended up flipping the script on him like, yeah, so I'm not, this ain't gonna be the last time you see me and all this and that. She like, what? Like, this was a first time thing. This ain't no every type of thing, right? So then, or whatever, so if we talk about them. So let's jump, so basically when she went back home or whatever, she finally got back home, but she got home late. Her husband was still at the inauguration. He was wrapping up shit at the inauguration. And this is the head of the chief of, what is he? The head of the detail or whatever, like the president's detail or whatever. So he comes the fuck home and the guy that followed the wife home or whatever. And she she had to like play it off like she didn't know the dude or and all that. So she ended up shooting the motherfucker, yo. And then they end up taking Secret Service end up taking him in for questioning to find out who the fuck he was and why he broke into the house because she said he broke in there, which he did, stalking her. And but she ain't never like revealed that they slept together on the plane. So come to find out, her husband, okay, is messing around with another Secret Service agent, okay, Kyle. And this motherfucker, he a grimy ass white boy, yo, I'm telling you. So her husband is messing with another Secret Service agent, Kyle. And Kyle was the one that had set the whole thing up for them two to meet or whatever. But the guy, he told Kyle, like, I ain't smash her or nothing like that. Because Kyle was just trying to blow it up so that her husband could leave her because Kyle wants her husband. I was like, I was like, what the fuck? Right? So Kyle wants her husband. Kyle set the whole thing up for them two to run into each other on the plane. But Kyle wanted them to sleep together, which they did, but he didn't never like disclose that to Kyle or whatever. And apparently he was smashing Kyle too. I think they had like a one night stand or something. I don't know. That was just wild or whatever. So Kyle was like a low down dirty Secret Service agent. I guess you could say he like a dirty cop. We'll get into Kyle in a minute because he did a lot of fuck shit in season one that, you know, I'm just like, whatever, Kyle. But so off to that, so she so basically, you know, she designed dresses for the first lady or whatever, and you know, she has an entanglement, I guess it's some type of entanglement with her, Kyle, the guy, and her husband or whatever. So let's talk about this the family real quick. Okay, so the president, he is just as dumb as a doorknob. Like, I don't know how this man even became a freaking president. Like, Lord have mercy. His name is Hunter. Okay, so Hunter is the president, and his wife is Victoria, and they have two kids. Um, Hold on, what is their two kids' name? One, I can't even think, Gail, and the crazy, and the son. I can't even think of this motherfucking name, but he is a psycho, yo. I'm gonna get into this son now, but we gonna talk about the president. So the mother, Victoria, she basically ran the whole shit. Okay, she runs the father, she runs the kids, she runs everybody. And Victoria's parents is like really wealthy. So in this scenario or whatever, they have like the five it's like five families who's supposed to be like the top families who run everything. And you know, and her family is one of those families, okay? So her parents is like very prestigious, you know, they very rich, they have a lot of power and pull or whatever. So they was just coming from the governor's mansion and they made their way into presidency or whatever to the White House. And that's where they are currently. And apparently it has a lot to do with her parents pulling a lot of strings for them or whatever. So she basically runs everything or whatever. She like the HBIC, kind of like you know what? No, I'm not gonna make that comparison, but kind of like Veronica Harrington, but yeah, she's kind of like a bitch like Veronica. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, but she has like a more softer side to her than Veronica did, if you can look at it like that. And I'm talking about Veronica from the haves and have-nots, right? I mean, we all talking about this Tyler Perry series, so I'm pretty sure whoever's watching this probably already watched the haves and have-nots. And speaking of that, I'm going to actually do a video on the haves and have-nots because this is going to be their last season, and I'm just like sad because damn, it was just a great run, you know. And I really wish that Tyler Perry would just move the show over to BET unless it's stipulations and things like that as to, you know, ownership of the actual show by it being on OWN or whatever. Um, but yeah, I just kind of wish that he would just move it over to BET and just continue the same, you know, continue with the storylines and stuff. But you know, He said it's a wrap. They're canceling the show. I just thought it was not going to be on OWN anymore, and that he may be able to put it on BET. But I'm not even sure. I just hope that the show can come back. But as of now, this is the final season of that. But back to this show. This one is on BET, right? So, um, so the daughter, they have a daughter and a son. So the daughter, her name is Gail. She was dating this drug dealer named Pinky, or whatever. And Pinky is actually the nephew of the head butler and the cousin who I was talking about in the beginning, right? The head butler was helping them move in or whatever, and his son, they was helping them package up. That's actually cousin slash brother, but we'll get into that. That drama, wow, yeah. But that's actually a relative of them. Um, so Pinky's a drug dealer or whatever, and she dating Pinky. So she don't want to be at the White House. She can't stand her mother. She can't stand her father. She can't stand her brother. She's just like, how them teenagers be like, I can't stand this, I can't stand that. But she really like can't really stand her family. Like it's deeper than that. Like she want to get the fuck away from her family, like and go live with Pinky, okay, off their drug money. So and then the son, he's like a real weirdo creep. Like he spies on people. He's like a huge perv. Like the son is just out of control. Like I don't know what the fuck they gonna do with this son because I'm in season 2 now at the part where actually season 2 episode 3. So you already know. Like I'm looking at this son like yo, he is just wild. Like but this whole thing is gonna be about season 1, so I'm not gonna talk about like the stuff that happened in season 2. I'll come back and do like another video on that. But well, I'm gonna just talk to up into the part that I just watched today, which is episode season 2, 3, or whatever. So basically, so Gail gives her parents a hard time. Her mother, be looking at her like, I give you everything you want, and you just so disrespectful and blah blah blah. And she don't care. She'll talk down to her mother and all that shit. So she sneaks out of the house one day and goes and sees, like, she's just rude to everybody. Like, the daughter is just rude to everybody. Like, the mother, the father, the staff. Like, this little bitch don't got no respect. Like, she couldn't have been one of mine because I would have stomped her ass into the ground. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, you ain't gonna sit and talk to me like that, young lady. Like, Mm-mm. That kind of stuff won't fly around here, but you know how privileged people is. They think they can say whatever they want to say and all that. But, so yeah, that girl don't got no home training, and she sure as hell don't got no morals or no respect for nobody. And the son is just as fucking crazy, okay? The mother, so when the episode first actually started, the season started out with the mother and the father, Victoria and Hunter, the first lady and the president, fist fighting, literally fist fighting. Like they was beating the shit out of each other, literally. And then walks down, and then walks out and gets themselves ready for the inauguration like nothing even happened. Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, what kind of family is moving up in the White House, right? I'm telling you, they just crazy. So the daughter, she ended up sneaking out of the house one day, and she ended up going to see Pinky or whatever. The son helped her escape because the son, he real nosy and creepy, and like he like one of them people that you could be sitting, he'll be watching you and you won't even know that he like looking at you and following you and shit. Like that's how creepy the son is or whatever. So he he had basically helped her escape through the maid's car or whatever, get in the maid's car. So she got out the maid car and walked over, went to Pinky house. So she had stayed the night over there or whatever, and then her little dumbass ended up at the end of the night he ended up leaving or whatever the case may have been. But She ended up almost getting raped by a whole other group of people that was outside, like another gang or whatever. It could have been that same gang, I don't know, or his people, I don't know. But she ended up almost getting raped and beat up by there. But the head butler had found him because the head butler was looking for his son. Now, mind you, right after the inauguration, she had accused the head butler's son of trying to rape her, right? But the whole time she was drunk and she was coming on to the head butler's son, and the head butler's son pushed her ass and she fell onto the floor. So then she got pissed that she got pushed on the floor and then, cried rape. So they had to interrogate him, hold him, or whatever, but they ended up letting him go. And because the mother knew that she was lying, everybody knew that she was lying, and they knew that that boy ain't do that to her. So when the incident was about to happen to her, then she felt all bad and shit, and then she finally told the truth, like, oh, that didn't happen to me, or whatever, I lied, or whatever, whatever. So she basically, told the truth. So, um, yeah, she basically told the truth. They had took her back home or whatever. And she ended up trying to contact the lawyer, trying to get out of the house because she like, I want to leave this house. I want to get emancipated or whatever the case may have been. So that she told me she want to get emancipated. She want to leave, so she ended up contacting the lawyer so she can try to get out of the family or whatever. So the son, he has this thing for the maid Jane, the same maid that they used her car to escape out of the they used her car to escape out of the out the White House so she can go see Pinky. So the son likes Jane. He's so infatuated with her. He always like watching her and stalking her, and it's just weird. And she just be trying to do her job. She don't got time to be dealing with that son like that. First off, he a little teenage boy. Secondly, Jane got a whole boyfriend at home. Like, she don't got time to be dealing with nobody else kids or no crazy shit, right? So the son, I'm telling you, the son is like real, like deep, is crazy. So let's get off this son real quick and talk about Hunter, who is the actual head of state, the president. So Hunter is cheating on Victoria, but that's why him and Victoria are always beefing, because Hunter is cheating on Victoria all the time. So he got this little, shorty that he messing with, and she owned a clothing store somewhere, right? So Hunter messing with the little shorty at the clothing store. Victoria beats up Hunter. Victoria beat up the girl at her own clothing store. Like, Victoria do not be playing. Like, she did a pop-up visit and beat that girl ass in that damn store. Lord, and that still didn't get that girl away. Like, the girl kept coming, still messing around with Hunter, right? So the girl ended up, one day she able to come see Hunter at the White House. And Hunter had went inside the bathroom to go use the bathroom, or I think he went to use the bathroom when he went to go wash his face or something he went to go do in the bathroom. And I swear he wasn't in there for no more than like 5 minutes. And then when he came back out, he went to go kiss the girl, and her fucking head was rolled off onto the floor. Like, somebody killed her in their bed, right? And Victoria and the kids, they was all out with the grandma at dinner some goddamn where. So Hunter was like, he didn't know what to do because he was in love with this girl. Like, he really loved her. Even though she was like the side piece, whatever, he really loved her for real. And he they had to end up covering up the girl's murder and trying to get the girl out. So Jane ended up seeing the blood in the body of the girl when Kyle was trying to remove the body or whatever. Because Kyle was the one who was standing watch at the time when that was going on. And so he had to end up moving the body, and Jane seen it or whatever. So now Jane, Kyle, and the president knows that this girl was dead. Nobody else knows yet. And so Jane was like freaking out, acting weird after she seen that shit. Like, she like, man, fuck that shit. But the girl, Sam's wife, I think, I think his wife, I can't remember his wife's name, but she's one of Jane's friends, and she's like the lead maid or whatever. Like, she's over top of all the maids or whatever, and she's no, she like the lead head chef or some shit, because I think she do all the cooking. So she kept on asking Jane like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? You know, what's happening or whatever." Jane went and talked to her. Jane didn't tell her what was happening and stuff like that. Jane was like, "Look, I don't know, everything is fine, you know," but even though she knew that something was really wrong with Jane, but Jane didn't want to talk because Kyle said that if she say something, she already know that she would have been next, you know, to die. So that's why she didn't say shit. So after Gail had went to go see Pinky or whatever, the grandmother and the mother, they all found out that she had snuck out the house to go see Pinky. So they ended up going to Pinky and Kyle, sending Kyle over there to where Pinky was and murdered his whole crew and him, and recorded the video and then sent it to Gail so that Gail can see, like, this is what happens when you disobey us. This is what happens when you want to go out and go to the hood and or whatever, right? So they end up killing him. And that was the head butler's family member, right? So what else happened? So let's talk about the head butler family for a minute. So the head butler's son, his name is Barry. And he has a girlfriend, I think her name is Sharon or something like that. And him and Sharon, they all living in the same house with the parents, okay? The head butler, Richard, and I forgot their mother name or whatever. But they like, so Richard is trying to keep his son in line or whatever the case may be. His son is like popping off or whatever. So when Richard and Barry was at the White House moving the stuff in for the inauguration, the mom was at home, and Barry has a daughter, okay, with a lady who I can't remember her name, but she like a fiend or whatever. So Barry has custody of his daughter, and he's like, no, don't let her see our child. You know, I don't want her nowhere near our child because she's a part of this cult called the Ravadouchis or whatever. So she like brainwashed and fucked up. So she'll do whatever this cult told her to do. Like, they told her to jump off a bridge head first, she'll do it, you know, because she just, I don't know, she just not wrapped all that right. But so the mother, she like felt bad about it, and she wanted, you know, for the little girl and her mom to like see each other or whatever. So she arranged some type of meeting. That was cute. Okay, so she arranged some type of meeting for them to like meet up or whatever. And so then the girl comes over there to meet up to see her daughter, but she brings her whole clique over, the Ravadouchis, a cult. And you know, they took kidnapped the child and everything. So then the mom had to call her son Barry and them know, like, they took your child. I'm sorry, I left them in the house. I thought I was doing the right thing by letting her see her. You know, because the mom got a good heart. You know, she thought she was doing the right thing, but she should have listened to her son when her son said, don't do it, right? So the son comes home. He's all upset. He's trying to find his daughter. He's going all over the place trying to look for the daughter and everything like that. He ended up going to Pinky, his cousin. They get the gun. His cousin, he got a gun from his cousin. Now he riding around the streets with a gun. So then his father ended up finding him in the morning time or whatever somewhere, and he was struggling over the gun, and the gun went off, and it shot into somebody's house, okay? And they just pulled off. So the person who the house, the straight bullet went and hit a man, and it killed the man while he was asleep, right? But Barry, he just been going off the hinges since then. Like, It's been fast paced with Barry since the episode started. Like, he was accused of rape, then his daughter got taken, then he shot the gun off in the car that was struggling. Then he found his girlfriend. No, he went. His girlfriend works at a pharmacy with her ex-boyfriend or whatever. And he ended up beating the fucking ex-boyfriend up in the pharmacy or whatever. And he was pissed off at his girlfriend. But he's still angry about all the stuff that's happening to him. Like, he was accused of rape. And then the main thing, his baby mother had stole the child. And he don't know where they are, right? So he ended up getting put in jail. He ended up getting put in jail because they thought that Barry. No, they ended up putting him in jail because I don't know what did he get put in jail for. Oh, because the police had found the gun. Oh, hold up. They ended up getting put in jail because one of the ladies from the Raradishis clique had came to the house or whatever. And she was talking to the mother and the father and everybody that living there. And she was like, she's scared her for her life. She don't know what she going to do. The lady ended up killing herself in the goddamn house. She didn't have no information for them, like, as far as where their granddaughter was or anything like that. But she ended up killing herself in the house. So they had to call the police and let them know that somebody had shot themselves inside of her house, right? And all of them end up going to jail. But Barry had ended up staying in jail, and the mother and the father end up getting out of jail or whatever. Because of Sam. Sam is the lead, the head of the security for the, president. So he ended up, Sam ended up getting him off or whatever. Well, he had a favor with the chief of police in there, so they friends, so they end up getting them all off, basically. So they all come out of jail. So Barry finds Sharon in the house. I mean, inside the store. No, but yeah, Barry and So as soon as he got out of jail, so Barry and Richard is out driving or whatever again, trying to find the daughter or whatever. And they end up going to the pharmacy to pick up Sharon because she don't got a car. And I think she was about to get off of work or something. Oh, he was going to the pharmacy to try and apologize the to the pharmacy owner who was Sharon's ex-boyfriend to see if he can drop the charges or whatever. So as soon as he gets up there, he sees Sharon fucking her ex-boyfriend, which is the one that's pressing charges on him. So he drives his whole car through the goddamn, he drove his whole car through the pharmacy, okay? Lord have mercy. I'm just like, I can't. He drives his whole car through the pharmacy. Hold up. I gotta keep track of time because these kids got school. Alright, he drives his whole car through the pharmacy and then gets out, and I guess he was struggling. I don't know where he got a gun from or where this gun came from. They were struggling over a gun that they had. They was fighting. Then they struggled over the gun. The gun went off, and it shot the father. It shot Barry father or whatever. So Barry ended up going back to prison, or back to jail because he had shot his father and ran his whole car through the front of the pharmacy. So now the whole pharmacy fucked up. His father is in the hospital and fighting for his life. So because he ended up shooting him. So he ended up getting off all the charges Barry did because they found out that it was a dead body. First they thought that he had killed Ruth. Ruth is his baby mother who he trying to find, who was in his cult, right? So they thought that he had killed Ruth, but it wasn't Ruth's body. He thought it was Ruth's body, but it wasn't Ruth's body. They all thought that he killed Ruth, but he never even killed Ruth. That was another person's body, so Ruth is still alive. And they ended up pinning the other murder of the man who was sleeping who got shot. They pinned it on Pinky because they gave the gun back to Pinky. So Pinky was already dead, so they pinned everything on Pinky so that, they give Barry a fighting chance or whatever, because there's no need of two lives being fucked up, for no reason, right? So they pinned everything on Pinky since he was dead. And And then the father, he ended up recovering from the gunshot wound or whatever. And they ended up letting Barry go. The only thing was that Barry is facing right now is charges against the store owner who was Sharon's ex and her boss. Um, so he's still pressing charges on Barry. So that's the only thing that he has against him or whatever currently. Until he actually found Ruth and dragged her into the police station. And they ended up charging him for kidnapping because he found her ass and dragged her to the police station. But he ended up getting out for that or whatever. So yeah, poor Barry, like he has a lot going on with him. It's just real crazy. And then what else? So we find out that the son, okay, he's just so devious. I'll just talk about him for a minute. We find out that the son, hold on, no, we ain't gonna talk about the son, we're gonna talk about him last. So, who else can we talk about? Kyle. So Kyle is just so devious. Like I don't even like Kyle's character. I swear I don't. He would be like one of those type of people that I will not like get along with at all. Period. Kyle is just so sneaky and underhanded, and it's just ridiculous. He used his power to his advantage, and he's just, I don't know, he's really not a good person. From him trying to manipulate, from him trying to manipulate, um, the guy from the head of security, the chief of security. I can't think of his name, but it's not Sam, but it's another guy that's part of the Secret Service detail. That's he like directly under the president, I think. Like he like details the president and like he's like the head of security or whatever. The one that's messing with the one that's messing with him, he messing around with him, and he was trying to get his wife caught up or whatever by getting another guy to like sleep with her or whatever. So Kyle basically set up Max. He took the job from Max because Max was the president's top guy that he would go to for everything. And Max has been with them since they was at the governor's mansion. Kyle wasn't. Kyle was just there at the White House, serving all the other presidents. But Kyle ended up taking the job from Max, and Kyle ended up setting Max up, Agent Max and Agent Yuma, basically saying that those two were fighting over the girl who the president was sleeping with because they're still trying to cover up this murder of the dead girl in the president's bed or whatever, who's the girl that the president was having an affair with. So they had to pin it on somebody, so Kyle decides to pin it on Max and Yuma and said that they was fighting over the girl. Yuma is gay or whatever, saying they was fighting over this girl and they ended up killing each other over the girl or whatever. So Kyle has set it up where he kidnapped Yuma, took her to the girl's clothing store or whatever, and then had Max come over there too. He ended up shooting Yuma to death, thinking that he shot Max to death, and then blew up the whole store and left and just was like, okay, they cleared everything, they got rid of all of the evidence out of the room, and they tied up all the loose ends by blaming it on those two so that the president was in the clear or whatever. But lo and behold, Max is still alive and well and kicking, okay? And Max is somewhere safe, ready. He's working with a few people. One of the old publicists, the president had fired for a younger publicist. Oh my goodness, this publicist, she didn't give a fuck. She went into that press room and said everything that was going on with the president and the family and all that shit before she left, because the president gave his ass to kiss. So she didn't have nothing else left to lose, so she basically put everything on blast. Um, but they are working together trying to bring him down now. So I haven't gotten that far yet in the series. I just got to episode season 2, 3. So I just seen them like talking together. Him, Max, the girl, the wife of the husband from the head of security, and then the guy that was standing behind her at the plane or whatever. I can't think of their names right now, but so hold on. Let me make sure I got all the juice out before I get to the son, because I cannot get over his ass. Okay, yeah. So let's talk back to Richard and his wife. So when Pinky ended up dying or whatever, Pinky's um, Richard basically told his wife like Pinky got killed, and she was distraught. Come to find out, Pinky is her son that she gave up when she was younger. She gave her son to her sister so her sister can raise him, right? So she calls the sister like, so why haven't you told me that Pinky had passed away? And she was like, oh, I think the sister is like, I think she a crackhead or something, because she like, oh, well, you ain't paying me enough money for that. You want to give me some more money, or I'm going to tell everything or whatever. So she basically told Richard everything that was going on or whatever with Pinky while he was in the hospital recovering from his gunshot wound, right? And Richard got so pissed off because, them two, they've been together for so long, and, you would look at this couple and think that, nobody's unfaithful in here. They both, God-fearing people. So you wouldn't think that, one person was cheating, but she ended up cheating on Richard when Richard was when he had to go to the war or whatever. He was doing service somewhere in Iraq. And, she slipped up and slept with somebody. Now, Richard thinks that it was his brother, but we don't know who it is because she won't actually say who the baby daddy is, right? But we just know that she actually cheated on Richard while he was out in service, had a baby, and gave the baby away. But she gave it away to her sister. She still stayed in close contact with the baby, but, with him. But that was just that, because she couldn't tell Richard, that she had a baby by another man because he would have been left her. But Richard is now with his feelings. He's pissed off with her. He don't want nothing to do with her right now. But she's trying to like talk some sense into him and, trying to, earn his forgiveness and his trust again or whatever. What else happened so far? I think that was like all the major shit that happened so far. So now back to the son. So now Victoria is getting to the point where she can't control the kids. So she calls her mother and was like, Mom, like, you need to come. And the mom's like, well, you seem like you can't handle these kids, so I'm going to come and pick them up and take them to a place where I can get them in line or whatever. So the mother comes to get the kids or whatever. So right before they was getting ready to leave, the son ends up, Jane ends up going inside the son's room to help them pack up for whatever so they can get on the plane. So the son ended up raping Jane, strangling her to death, and then stuffed her body underneath of his bed before he left to get on this plane. So now they in the air with the grandma, and the grandma is taunting them like, yeah, y'all kids, y'all don't know how to act. I'm going to get y'all, where y'all going at, y'all going to get in line or whatever. And the son got tired of hearing all that shit, and he ended up killing the fucking grandma. Like, the woman who got all the power or whatever, like, who's really running everything behind the scenes and shit, he ends up killing her ass. I'm like, God damn. And then they end up taking Gail or whatever to some place, some location when they landed. So now the son is back in the White House. That's where I'm at now. The son is back in the White House. The parents found the body underneath the bed, okay? And they put the body in the trunk and they're trying to remove it now. They had to tell Sam, and he had to tell, mind you, Sam's wife and the dead person in the body, Jane, is real tight like this. And Sam's wife is trying to find Jane because Jane ain't call her all night, and She like, that ain't like Jane. You know, we talk to each other every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's our roadie. So she's trying to find out why the fuck I ain't get a chance to talk to her yet, right? So this is the part where we on now. Like, she asking like one of the guys who run the security cameras, like, can you see where Jane left? It was like, well, she went to the residency, but after that, she never came out the residency. And they don't have like cameras in the residency because the president didn't want him in there because he was bringing the chick, you know, in there. So he didn't want, you know, too much stuff on camera or whatever. So they don't have no cameras in the residency. But they seen that she went in there and never came back. So the wife is like trying to do some investigation work, trying to figure out like where's her homie at, right? But the president already confides in Sam that Jane is in that box, Sam and Kyle, because them two is his right hand mans now. So he like, yeah, Sam and Kyle, I need y'all to dispose of this body or whatever the case may be. I don't know how comfortable Sam is about it because, you know, I didn't finish watching the episode or whatever, but that's where we at now. The son is out of control. The parents is scared of the son. The mother was like, look, you a fucking serial killer. Like, he was like, when I turn 18 next, he was like, I'm about to turn 18. I want my own place. She was like, oh, you're about to move out of here sooner than you think. Like, the mother don't even want to deal with his ass because he fucking crazy. He admitted that he killed his grandma. He killed the president's side piece, and that he killed Jane. So he killed 3 people so far in a matter of like 2 weeks, literally. Like, I don't know how long the time span is here, but I would say like a 2-week time span that all of this is going on. Lord, this man, this little boy is fucking deranged. And I almost felt bad for him when he gave his speech because he was like, this is all because of you guys. Like, and the mother was like, don't you try to tell me about this bullshit. Like, we give y'all everything that y'all ever asked for. And he was like, yeah, but you ain't never give us love, you know. And I kind of felt like a little sorry for him, like, because, you know, parents sometimes they don't realize like the kind of kids they're actually raising based off of their own actions. You know, like you can give a child everything, but attention and time and love, you know, they need that too. That nurturing spirit. And Victoria, she's not like that nurturing type of mom, like who will love you and hug you and give you a kiss and congratulate you when you're doing well. You know, she's not that kind of mom because she never had that type of love from her parents, who has a lot of power and, you know, whatever. Her parents didn't give her like that too because her parents treated her differently because she was a little bit dark. Okay, I think her dad is black and I think her mom is white or whatever, but she came out a little bit darker than the rest of her siblings. So they just looked at her like, you know, treated her like an outcast. So she didn't know love, you know, so she didn't know how to express that to her children, you know, so the cycle continues. But baby, this is where I'm at with this Oval Office. If y'all ain't watching the Oval, y'all better get to it, okay? To it, and I'll be back with another video. I think my favorite character actually, well, do I have? Jane was actually kind of like my favorite character. I'm not even gonna lie. Because like she can put on this professional face when she at work, and then when she at home kicking it, she was like, "Man, you know the motherfuckers tried to take my car." Like when the daughter had jumped inside her car, the Secret Service took her car or whatever for like fingerprints or whatever. She was like, "Man," she was like, "You know they took my goddamn car." Like she was not fucking around with their asses. You know what I'm saying? But then when she get in front of them, she'd be like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir." Like, I don't know. I fucked with Jane, but now she gone, so I need a new favorite character on here. I kind of want to say Victoria, but then like I don't know. I mean, I kind of do want to say Victoria actually, to be honest, because she's a real bona fide bitch. But at the end of the day, like she's not hiding who she really is to her family or none of the motherfuckers. Like she a bitch, and that's how that shit comes off. Like she don't try to pretend like she ain't nothing that she ain't or none of that, you know. Um, but I don't know. We'll see how this thing progresses and what happens in the next few episodes. So yeah, this is where I'm at. This is what I this is where I'm at. I'll come back to the next episodes to show you guys, um, and talk to you more about it. But if you guys are watching, let me know. Like, let me know what y'all thinking about this shit, because that is like insane. Like, insane. I cannot believe it. Hopefully Richard forgives his wife, hopefully, well, I don't know. Hopefully they can get the little boy some help because he has issues. Okay, and I hope that they do actually find out what happened to Jane and that Jane's death gets avenged, or they get some type of justice for Jane, because I really like Jane. Like, she didn't deserve to get stuck in no fucking trunk and get passed off as, um, she didn't really deserve that. She really deserved like a real memorial and, something like that. And I feel bad that she didn't get that, from her death. But yeah, tell me how you guys is feeling about this Oval Office. Y'all need to tune in. I might do another video about this probably in a couple of days after I watch a couple more episodes or whatever. But yeah, it is just, it is everything. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.